Hey guys, James saying. So today's a video about the mask wearing on public transportation. It was extended by the CDC for 2 weeks, and then a federal judge struck it down. And then it's going to go to court, though I don't think it's been filed yet to go to court. So as a nurse and as somebody who works around COVID-19 patients, I don't want people to have a sense of false security being on an airplane, because the mask mandate that was in place for people on a plane is that they could wear a cloth. If you wanted to wear a cloth mask, they can. The CDC in their website, they say any mask is better than no mask. And they say that the cloth mask is least desirable. So I think a lot of people have access to surgical masks, and a lot of people have access to N95. So N95 is certainly the better. If you're truly, like, if I'm going to go into a patient's room that's COVID, I'm not wearing this surgical mask because it doesn't protect me. I have to wear an N95. Now, if you're going to be on a plane for a few hours, let me back up and say, and the CDC says whatever mask you wear needs to be properly fitted. There can't be gaps. There can't be gaps in the side of the mask, which is what almost everybody does. They don't, because it gets hard to breathe. And people, they pull their mask down below their nose. It's you basically, you're not wearing a mask. If you pull it down below your nose, if you have COVID and you're breathing it out, it doesn't magically just come out of your mouth and get, trapped in the mask. It comes out your nose. When you cough, sneeze, talk loud, yell, scream, you're aerosolizing the virus particles. Now, well, my concern is that people end up having a false sense of security. If you're on an airplane and everybody's forced to wear some type of mask, even the masks that don't really work, the cloth mask, over 90% of the country's at low risk of community transmission right now. So I can't speak for the entire country. There may be pockets. I know Philadelphia reinstituted a mask mandate, and then I think there was such outrage against it that they rescinded it. But if you're just wearing a mask on a plane, think, okay, I'm safe, but then you go to the grocery store, and most people in the grocery store aren't wearing a mask. When you go to the gym and work out for an hour or two, most people aren't wearing a mask. When you go to a play, when you go to an indoor stadium, when you go to wherever it is you go, and most people aren't wearing a mask, but you are on the plane, that's a false sense of security. And if you're somebody like you're really worried about getting COVID-19, you're immunocompromised, you have a lot of risk factors, you need to wear an N95. Like when I go into a patient's room, I wear an N95. That's how I don't get COVID. See if this makes sense. I'm going to go into a patient's room that has COVID with my N95 on, but I'm going to take my lunch break. I'm going to take my N95 mask off. I'm going to sit in the COVID positive patient's room and eat my lunch for 30 or 40 minutes. That just doesn't make sense. And that's what happens on a lot of these airplane flights, is that people are wearing their masks, and then it comes time to eat, everybody takes it off. That logically doesn't make sense. The way you don't get COVID is that you don't get exposed to the virus. And the way you don't get exposed to the virus, if you're around somebody with COVID-19 that's actively infected and shedding the virus, you wear an N95. Everybody should get vaccinated. I'm strongly, there's a certain age group. I don't deal too much with children, but for adults, to be twice vaccinated, it's your decision if you want to be boosted once or boosted twice, or that's 4 shots. That's one of the key ways of not getting sick from COVID-19. A mask, an N95 mask. And by the way, these masks have to be fit tested. Okay, I have to go every year for a fit test. There's a number of makers of N95, and because my coworkers and we all get fit tested. Ooh, that thing's got to be tight. That thing's got to be tight on your face. There can be no gaps. You put this hood on you, it's got a little hole, they spray this either sweet smell or bitter smell. You have to turn your head side to side, up and down. You have to recite the numbers or alphabet, whatever, and see if you can taste it. And that's how you know that the N95, there's a bunch of N95s that do not work for various people. That particular shape of that N95, that style of N95 doesn't work. Even when they're trying to make it work, it doesn't. So that's the key to a mask, is that it's a high quality respirator mask, that it's an N95, and it has to be fit tested. I mean, if you wear a mask with gaps on the side, the virus doesn't just magically come straight at you, and not that this filters the virus. Somebody's spitting out, coughing out droplets. It'll catch droplets, but it's all over. If there's an infection, the virus is all over in the air, and so it depends on how much air exchange takes place in that confined space before it's safe to go in there. In the hospital, that's what we do. How long, if there was an aerosolized procedure, how often is the air exchange? And then you wait for the air to exchange so many times that it's filtered out. You have charts, you look it up, and then you can go in the room and terminally clean the room. So I think sometimes people get a false sense of security because, everybody on the plane has a mask on, but this doesn't count, okay? You could still breathe in whatever you're breathing in. If you're infected, you're still exhaling it out. So there's probably going to come a time when we need to wear masks a lot again. Hopefully not. As I'm recording this, April 24th, I just looked up real quick on the CDC's website as of April 20th. As far as vaccines go, 77% of Americans have one dose, 66% are fully vaccinated. That's really the key. So we have vaccines for treatment, we have medication to treat, and more and more people that are getting COVID it's a less severe illness. COVID's never going away. I'm going to get COVID at some point in my life. You are going to get COVID at some point in your life. It's just like we're all going to get a cold. Most people are probably going to get the flu at some point in their life. That's the nature of respiratory virus and being a human being. But as far as COVID-19, the entire country, the United States, there's 1.2% of the communities that have high risk of transmission. There's 7.1% at medium risk of transmission, and 91.6%. So basically 92% of the country is at a low risk for community transmission. So it's when there's a majority of medium and high risk, that's probably when masks will come back and need to be worn by most people in most places. And it's really the N95 that does the best job. And the CDC does say any mask is better than no mask, but that's almost like saying saving money, like saving some money for retirement is better than no money for your retirement. So how much should you save this year? I saved $5. How much should you save? I saved $80,000 in my 401k. Well, $5. I guess it's better than nothing, but I mean, come on, $5 a year for your retirement, it's not going to do anything. A cloth mask is not really going to do anything. You need a high quality respirator mask. So don't have that false sense of security. People are like, oh, well, I have children under a certain age and they have to travel. If they're really at risk of getting, COVID, say you had a child with cancer and you have to go somewhere, well, being on a public plane there needs to be another choice. There needs to be like a medical transport for a sick child. Healthy children, they're at the lowest risk of the COVID, the category of people that can get really sick and have serious complications. It's not zero for anybody, but kids are at the lowest. Adults in their 20s, high school, 20s, and college, it's people that are like 60 and older. Those are the people at high risk. And we still don't have it should come out this summer, the monoclonal antibodies, the PO, the by mouth. That's what really needs to come out. That's what we really need. So then we really will be on top of it once we have vaccines. And I'd like to see the booster change for kind of like the flu. We change the flu shot every year for what we think is going to go up against. So we need to do the same with the mRNA vaccines. That was supposed to be the beauty, that you could change the type of mRNA vaccine and tailor it to what's out there infecting people. So don't have this false sense of security that this mask, oh, I have this mask on, I'm okay as long as everybody else has a mask on. I mean, the way you protect yourself is that you get vaccinated and that you wear an N95. If you're in a really risky situation, you wear an N95 that has been tested so that you know it works. Alright guys, thanks a lot. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. It would help my channel. And if you found the information helpful or useful, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, remember to turn on notifications so that you don't miss when the next video comes out. Alright guys, thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video.